Right, hello, I'm Phil from Doble Motorcycles. This is Paul from Doble Motorcycles. We are here. Normally on a Wednesday we'll come to you live, but today we're coming to you almost live. Just to
we were dogged with gremlins.
Dogged with gremlins.
All because we decided we'd splash out and get some proper mics.
I know.
Make it work. And technology has defeated us.
Dogged by Gremlins is a great band name.
Oh, goodness. I didn't know we were talking about bands.
Aye, but Dogged by Gremlins were a good thrash metal band. Anyway.
Oh, they were?
I'm saying that'd be good. If me and you were to start a band, I'll play like the banjo and you play the clarinet.
Triangle, mate. That's all I can do.
Right, we're here.
We're back. I'm back.
We're back. You're back. So you're back from
holiday. Yeah, I took a little sort of 5-day break from work following the sort of trip to the NEC bike show, wife's birthday. So we had a great time. We went over to Seville. Naturally, I focus on any bike that goes past me, and there's plenty over in Seville, I've got to tell you.
Did you see any double plates?
I didn't see any double plates, but tried to speak to the Chief of Police because I noticed they're on Honda Transalps. Just think there's a good opportunity for us there to appeal to them.
They're still on Transalps?
They're on Transalps, NC750s. I didn't take a few photos.
Are they two up?
No.
I was in Greece last year or the year before, and all the cops were riding about two up with shorts and t-shirt on, and I was like, that is hilarious. Imagine not being the driver of your police vehicle. That'd be brilliant. Wow. Anyway.
That's because you're normally imprisoned in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, imagine being two up on a police motorbike. So a Transalp.
But yeah, the Transalp was over there, but the old sort of 08 sort of 2000 year model. But anyway, we had a great time, and that's important to me because, of course, I come back fully refreshed and in a good mood.
Why is that important to the people watching?
It's important to the customers because it means if I'm in a good mood, then the deals get better. The deal gets improved from your point of view. Decent part exchange value.
You'll maybe get another couple of quid off your part exchange.
Possibly.
Right. So since the last time we were on here, you've come back from Motorcycle Live.
Indeed, yeah. Well, I was already back.
Oh, yes, you were.
I'd already done my stint, taken over by Ian. He went up there for the final weekend, manning the Honda stand, or specifically the Goldwing element of the Honda stand. Feedback we got both through Ian, through Ian's customers, through my customers, who just like us, seeing us out and about, interacting with them, phenomenal. The actual Honda stand was ramajam the whole time, the whole 9 days. It's a long time. Really, to have that big an audience, and everyone says that the bike industry is sort of getting smaller, but I'm not sure we saw that with the volumes of customers and potential new and old that were there. From
what I read from that Honda report, it did say that attendance was up 30% and almost back to pre-COVID levels.
Well, that's interesting to see. I mean, and there's good reason for that. I mean, it's not just Honda that come out with new models, but all the brands are. But Honda's lineup for next year is looking cracking. I mean, we've got the new Transalp that was there.
Yep.
Just touched upon the Transalp, but yeah, that was certainly one of the stars of the show. A lot of people had seen the launch of it online and so on, and were keen to get to see it for themselves, sit on it, touch it, feel it, and all the rest of it. Although they couldn't get to ride, I don't think they had a demonstrator up there. No, in fact, they wouldn't.
No.
But certainly as people then got to see it in the flesh, the phone started buzzing, and we got some orders there placed directly as a consequence of them seeing it at the show.
And there was also the CL500.
CL500, that was static on the stand. I didn't really sort of get any feedback from customers directly on that one, but as you know, that's a bike that I particularly like.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that needs to get a little bit closer to the release date, because that's a little bit later in the year.
All right, because the Hornet's coming January.
Hornet's coming January, coming soon.
Yeah.
So if you've got your name down on a Hornet order, then look out for the new year. Soon, straight into the new year, we should start seeing them arrive.
I think the Hornet is going to be one of the bikes that you're going to need to see it to believe it. I feel as if some of the naysayers say it looks like other bikes, or whatever, but once you see it up close, it is its own thing, and it's powerful. Its build quality is tremendous, as you should expect, and it's just a big meaty bike. I think it's going to go up against its competitors and win.
And one of the big reasons for that is the price. Goodness, it's under £7,000 to get yourself probably one of the biggest protagonists in its field.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, although I was in Spain, didn't get a ticket or an invite from myself, but MCN and a lot of the bike journalists all went over to Spain as guests of Honda and rode it this week. Their feedback, you wait till you see it. I saw the feedback. MCN gave it a 5-star review. Now that's pretty impressive from those guys. I mean, they get to try all of this, all of the products, but for them to give the Hornet a 5-star review, I think I'm not sure I was expecting it, but it's fantastic. Absolutely
And
fantastic to see.
I can't wait to ride it as well. The other bike that was at the Motorcycle Live, I wasn't at Motorcycle Live this year, but the Motorcycle Live was John McGuinness's. Was that John McGuinness?
Yeah, John McGuinness Fireblade. The prototype was up on the stand. That was a real buzz around that. Orders still coming in even today. Only 30 of them, so not sure how we're going to deal with that. But that's something that Honda will be considering over the next few weeks. But he was there, of course. I mean, what a great guy. Does he need to be there? I'm not sure. He needs to do his bit of press work for the racing team and so on. But he was there, I suspect, every day, because there was certainly footage that I saw on customers' feedback, Facebook posts showing him there. So, 9 days is a long old haul for him, and just to be centre of attention, I suppose no big deal, is it? I mean,
I am always the centre of attention everywhere I go.
But he's never ever put himself in a position, or I've never seen it certainly, whereby someone asks him for a photograph or an autograph, or an autograph, sign something, then he does it with a big smile, often
a joke
with it. But what a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, also going to talk about the arrival of the NC750X.
Yes. Well, the NC750, the X model. So since the facelift back during lockdown, it's been a machine that's continued to sort of capture people's imagination. They've all wanted to buy into it, and there's good reason for that. We'll get onto that. But so for the last year and a half, maybe, we've not had the bike in stock or available for sale. You've had to join the waiting list and then wait patiently. Now, if you are one of those customers that are on that waiting list, keep an eye on your phones over the next couple of days. We've started to see the arrivals of those, both on the standard model and the DCT. So it'd be nice to reunite customers with their long lost orders.
If you don't know about the NC750, when they talk about facelift, I have a beef with the word facelift because it's not just an aesthetic, it's also a torquier engine. It's got a bit more grunt to it. It's the riding position, I feel as if it's slightly different. It's more upright. I have ridden them both, like the old one extensively, and I currently ride the NC700. The NC750X, the new one, is like in a class its own. Like 2 customers independently have said to me that it's the best commuter bike on earth.
Well, and one of the reasons for that will be the fuel economy. I mean, and not aside from the fact that you can keep your helmet on the bike without having to sort of bulk it out with luggage, but I think that Honda claim that it's sub 90 miles per gallon. But if you check out a website called fuely.com, around the world, it allows customers to actually record their own mileage versus the tank fill up and how many litres and so on. So it gives a really accurate guide of what the customer is actually achieving on those bikes.
Yeah.
Which is important because often you see some sort of claims by manufacturers. I'm not saying that Honda would, but that sometimes almost feel as though you could never achieve that.
Yeah.
But the important thing that we're highlighting here is that actually people are achieving more than the manufacturers may claim. So it's a great bike, and certainly with these times whereby money's hard to come by and you want to save it, then save it on fuel, get yourself an NC.
Save it on fuel and save it on the NC itself. It's not a very pricey vehicle for what you're getting.
No, that's right, with DCT as an option as well. So, and fingers crossed, we've probably got now the shortest lead time on that model than we've had. So if you fancy one of those, you like the new colours for 2023, which are upon us as well, come in, give us a call, whatever you want to do.
Right. Last week, if you watched last week's video, we were in across the road in the new bike showroom. This week, we're in the used bike showroom, and the reason for that is because I want to talk about some used bikes.
Right. Yes. Well, there's lots of them here that have got your juices flowing, isn't there?
Yeah. Right. So listen, this is if you've been in Dobles before, if you've been in the shop before, I sit over on the back wall. I'm in the shop all the time. I get to see everything that comes and goes. I would like to give special mention to. At the back, there's a Honda Shadow VT750. And when I first started riding, that's all I wanted. It's all I cared about. Because I wanted a Harley, but I also loved the Honda brand back then. So having like a really cool custom bike is all I wanted. I eventually rode the Honda Shadow and I absolutely loved it. Not that one. I rode they call it a Phantom in America. What do you call it?
Shadow Spirit?
Yes, Shadow Spirit. It's all blacked out.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's an older one, and it's in such good nick. So if you're looking for something like that,
it is a beauty. Yeah.
But if you also want,
it's on the used bike listing. So if you go to our website, click through, you'll search used bikes. Honda.
Yeah. There's also 2 Harley Davidson Ultra limited, ultra limited, if you want to go around the world. And there's also a Pan American, which I've not ridden yet, but I am very interested to ride the Harley Davidson Pan American.
We're talking about going around the world, the Goldwing. I mean, the Goldwings we've got on display at the moment, we've got a really exciting range of them, covering lots of year spans of models. But also there's a trike over there, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got like the heritage fleet of Goldwings,
like almost representation from each of the years right up to the present day.
We've even got an F6C in Burgundy.
Indeed, I took in part exchange.
The F6C.
Thank you to that customer who exchanged it.
The F6C is basically a bobber Goldwing. It's not the
it's what Honda called the Valkyrie. So they introduced it back in 2014, 15, that era, under that format, and then there was some absence for it, and then hopefully it's something that they will reconsider. They've got the current one, which is called the Bagger.
Yes.
Which is essentially the Goldwing without the top trunk, but hopefully they'll reconsider the Valkyrie in time to come.
And the trike, is that the trike, the black one?
That's the trike. I think it's an EML conversion.
Yeah.
For the guys who know their stuff.
The guys who know their stuff, and by God, there's a lot of guys who know their stuff in Goldwings, as we've met at the Treffin this year and at the Goldwing Light Parade in Llandudno.
And I met lots of them at the NEC, and it was lovely to catch
up. Did you see them?
It was good to catch up with all the Goldwingers that we've become to know over time. But of course, new customers, new customers that are looking at the new 2023 Goldwing, they were all there checking it out.
Well, I was interested in something you said earlier about the guy. There was a guy who was part exchanging his old Goldwing, and he was in his 40s, and
that's right.
I was saying like the Goldwing is not limited to any age or gender or anything like that. The Goldwing, if you fall in love with it, it's the bike.
Well, it's interesting that he's currently on a 2019 year model. We met, we sort of hit it off, and we've managed to strike a deal with him. He's just ordered the early 40s.
Early 40s.
And Honda know that the average age of the Goldwinger is coming down, whereas in most other sectors it's going up. So that's great to see.
And I can tell you, go.
I was just going to talk about another used bike that I've just spotted.
Go, tell me what.
Forza 750. We haven't had a new one of those in stock for some months.
That's right.
And interestingly, they were only very limited in the candy red, and there'll be a proper Honda name for it. But we've got one in. It's a 2021. One owner. It's only done a couple of thousand miles. And interestingly, the customer's invested £2,500 or whatever it is, fully laden it up with the Honda genuine accessories. So it's got the colour-coded panniers, the colour-coded top box, and that's on at £9,200. I think. Consider that it was. It would have been 12 and a bit £1,000 new.
Yeah.
2,000 miles on the clock.
That's good.
That's certainly good. Looks good value for money. That again on the used bike part of the website.
That Forza 750 that's an engine that can go a distance. That can go around the world.
Well, it's the same NC engine.
Yeah, and if you've got the panniers and the top box, why not?
Well, it's certainly got capability, and then you've got the underseat storage as well. If you haven't seen one of those, I mean, because there's been very rare occasions where we've actually had one on display in the shop. Come down and take a look at it and try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you something else that we've got in the shop that we're now getting more in numbers is electric bikes.
We are, yes. I reserve judgment. I mean, Honda have just launched, which we covered in the last broadcast, and of course for Mike and myself, the new little 50 that's coming out later in the year. But yeah, certainly we're taking a lot more of them in part exchange.
Yeah.
Not sure where the market sits on them at the moment, but certainly we're seeing new riders coming to the market that we haven't seen coming into a bike shop before. So.
But some people, so the reason I'm highlighting it is some people want to spend less on fossil fuel, and if they want to still ride the bike, there's electric options.
There are, yeah, and as time goes on, we'll see more and more options, and eventually completely phase out fossil fuel options. But that's a long way off.
That's a long way off.
But at least we've got representation. So if electric is what you're after, come down and see what we got.
Tell you what else we've got and used, an NT 1100.
Used?
You've got a black one.
There you go. See, I've been away 5 days.
I know we've got an NT. I know
it must be a fresh arrival.
And we've got an NT 1100, and they don't come in used very often.
Well, it's the first year of them. So to have it, we've had a couple of used ones over the last year, but they've come in and gone straight out because of the waiting list on new. So yeah, if we got one of those, that's great to hear.
If you're keen. Also, I'll tell you who's coming. Santa's coming. It's time to listen. You guys see earlier and earlier every year, and today is the 30th of November, but I'm going to say it's Christmas time. If you're looking for a big stocking filler for your kid, what have we got?
Well, I can fit anything in the stocking. If you aside from the bikes, but stocking fillers, presents under the tree, depending on where you want to be on the budget, whether you've got a fiver to spend or endless. We've got something typically Honda branded. We've got lots of Honda merchandise.
Yeah.
We tend to specialise in that kind of stuff anyway. So if you want something that says Honda on it, we've got a good selection. We've got display cabinets around the place.
I was more talking about the CRF50.
Well, I was getting onto that.
Oh, right.
So for kiddies, of course, there's something for everybody. Yeah, CRF50s, we put a post up earlier in the week, or you did, thank you very much. Just highlighting that if your kiddie fancies a CRF50, we've now got supply. In fact, we've got stock. We've got no further supply before Christmas. So if that's something that you wanted to get for your youngsters, then give us a shout. We can hold on to it for Christmas Eve delivery.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve's a Saturday, I think, isn't it? So
yeah,
if you want us to keep it here so it's not too hard to hide, we can do that. But we would need to get on the phones quite quickly to try and get one secured.
Yeah, there's obviously not an unlimited amount of them. They will all sell out.
We've probably got this year around, so that's way less than we would normally sell this time of year. But again, supply has been a bit problematic.
Yeah. Anything else Christmassy wise?
Christmassy, mulled wine. Oh no, so I'm back into Bill here.
I've never been a fan of mulled wine. I think it's because
I meant sangria actually.
It's because I came from Glasgow, and the mulled wine of Glasgow is Buckfast, and it's awful.
Well, you've got to be careful. You haven't had too many drinks when you say that.
I know it's nice. It's loads of caffeine in it, loads of sugar. It's like an alcoholic energy drink in a green bottle, and it's the worst thing on earth. I was more talking about the CRF 110, 125 as well.
Well, that's right. The whole kiddie bike range. So I didn't actually catch hold of the numbers that we've got in stock, but they won't be in huge numbers. So if you want any of the kids bike range, this is the place to be.
Also, if you want to get yourself something is for your own Christmas and you want to go on a Montesa.
Yeah, well, we launched last week the Black Friday deal, which was realign the price to clear our existing stocks. We've still got a couple of those left, so if that's something you want, we're holding the price. The Black Friday seems to sort of drag on a little bit, but we're holding the price because we use that as a catalyst to make it happen. Just get them gone. Make sure that they get home to the right places.
I tell you, I rode one of the X Trail bikes at the Adventure Bike Festival.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I've been riding 20 years.
The one you crashed?
Yes. I've been riding 20 years. I'll be fine. I know how to ride a motorbike. The guy's like, right, carry on. Like 4 seconds in it, I was like over the top. Because you need to know how to ride these things.
Just because I didn't have a seat.
Yeah, exactly. And if you know me, I like to sit down. But see, the thing is, my point is, I was here for about 20 minutes. And by 20 minutes in, I was already starting to get used to it. So if it's something you're interested in pursuing, it's X Trails. Like, we've got the bike for you, we've got the gear for you, you can start doing it.
There you go.
And if I can do it, honestly, you can definitely do it.
Are we going to do this then?
Yes. Right. So, it's the Men's Football World Cup, currently in Qatar. And we have got a bunch of these footballers and we want to give them away. So,
Honda.
What we'll do is, in the comments below, we want you to say the phrase that pays.
The phrase that pays.
No,
don't type that though.
No, don't say the phrase that pays. You say, give me my football. In the comments, say, give me my football. And if you... You
can't have this. This is our prop. We bring it out every 4 years.
It's not a prop. It's the actual real World Cup. I actually stole it and replaced the real one with a prop. Yeah. So if you want a Honda football, in the comments, say... give me my football and I'll pick a winner at random.
No, we'll just give a couple away. Come on, we've got a couple there, haven't we? So
you want two? Give away two?
We might as well give away two. I know it's
two.
See, I'm still on holiday.
He definitely is on holiday. Right. So if you get anything else,
yes. Well, we wanted to touch upon if you're one of the tens of thousands of people who went to the NEC bike show and saw something on the Honda stand that you fancy.
Yeah.
There's never been a better time than to get your place in the queue. Get your name down. If you fancy the new CL500, the new Rebel Tourer, the Transalp, or any of the existing range that have just been colour or changed the colours for 2023, give us a call because a couple £100, you don't need much more than that because of course we know Christmas is on the doorstep as we just touched upon.
Yeah.
That gets your place in the queue. You'll be securing one of the first arrivals of the new models. What a nicer thing to take yourself through Christmas and to look forward to.
Yeah, and if you fancy Ian Gladman, I'm sorry, he's already married. He was on the stand. That was Ian Gladman was on the stand joke. I might cut that out. Right, so that's all we've got for this week. If you want any questions answered next week, let us know in the comments below. Obviously, give us a phone.
We're going to try and do it live next week again, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll go for live next week. We'll iron out our technical difficulties and we'll do it live. I think maybe we'll go back to the new bike showroom where we'll have our luck and not see Macbeth. And there you go. I've been Phil from Double Motorcycles.
And I'm Paul.
Rock and roll.